Hello, gorgeous souls. And this week I'm really tapping into and sharing with you an audio from the live that I held in the past week over on my Instagram community with everyone talking around navigating slower sales months. And this can be something that, at least within the industry, isn't quite talked about, isn't so prevalent to help to support you and guide you to still be driven to your vision, because there's specific thoughts that we can of course indulge in. There's a reality that we can take to be facts, when alternatively we can really make some very powerful and potent shifts to best support us to continue forward, to drive that along. And this is what I really want to bring to your awareness and even take forward for you in whatever aligns best within these thoughts, within these mindset shifts and reframes, how you can still see that everything is always working, that there really is no rush. And this too has just been such a prevalent energy of knowing that nothing is ever an emergency in your business, that you are just essentially this human, this vessel, this being in a very fast-paced world, but you can move slow. There's nothing wrong with moving slow and honoring and accepting the timeline in front of you, while of course there's this anticipation for quantum leaps, for collapsing down time and space. But when we're in a frenetic kind of urgency, it needs to happen now, that rush, really just starting to observe and identify where there may be a lingering piece of scarcity, of lack, and that's just going to manifest on its own. So we really want to bring in and have intention, and this is where stemming back to the thoughts and the reframes that I'm going to be sharing with you in this episode can best support you as well. One thing as well that you'll hear me share at the end of the episode, which I've only recently started to bring forward again outside of my one-to-one container with clients, is one-off sessions that provide you with Akashic energy and business mastery soul sessions that can really impart a greater level of healing, a greater level of clarity, a roadmap and a blueprint, and helping you on a cellular level reset, subconsciously move through any unconscious blocks. And ultimately, at the same time, there was a beautiful reading that was held last night, give you the wisdom and give you the compassion to let go of what may be holding you back energetically, to be able to drive and set you on that right path forward. If you have any questions, feel free to just send me a private message. Over on Instagram is the best place to find me. Otherwise, definitely I'll be sharing a little bit more about these sessions in future episodes as well, but they are right now $111, down from $222. This is only going to be applicable until May 23rd. So don't walk, run to get your spot saved, because there's only a limited availability left in my schedule. And again, this is only until May 23rd. Welcome to the Living Connected podcast. I'm your host, Mallory Meyer. I'm a multi-six-figure online entrepreneur, founder of White Wolf Reiki, and creator of the Frequency Business Mastery School. I weave together the metaphysical with the science of the subconscious mind and timeless business principles to help you take your passion for serving and empowering others full time. I'm not just here to teach you how to build a profitable and aligned business, but to invite in more authenticity, awareness, clarity, and certainty in what, who, and how you serve. In return, to generate more sales as you cultivate greater confidence and wealth through deeper self-sovereignty and advocacy, inviting in a trauma-sensitive approach to protocols and processes in our marketing and selling as we honor each client's humanity in the process of living more connected. This podcast is here to connect you further to your self-mastery for business, your lifestyle, and of course, your mindset. Join me on my mission to uplift and elevate the collective to love and light. Hello! I have just been on a live spree right now, so I figured why not come live in Instagram and talk about navigating slower sales periods. So the reason why I want to talk about this, hi Steph, is specifically because this builds off of a post yesterday that I shared, where we can get so caught up on putting a pedestal around the 10K month, the 20K month, the 30K month, whatever that may be. Hi, ladies. And ultimately, what I want to talk about though is like, what about these months where it's a little bit slower in sales, where you might not necessarily have the expectancy of income coming in, and how you can best navigate that through some of the thoughts that I'm going to share with you today, through some of the philosophies. I love you ladies as well. And ultimately, for one, I really look at it as when you're able to navigate this process, when you're able to invite in these thoughts as well, this is what is creating success in your business. And this is really going to guide you further to be able to quote unquote collapse time, right? So number one, if I haven't necessarily created a level of sales, each and every month, I look at how many clients do I have the capacity to serve? What is the income goal that I'm really setting my focus to, and kind of re-engineering my path from there. However, it's not to say that anything has gone wrong if that has not been met, because business is business. And this is what I just really want to ground you in as well, is to know that there is going to be an expansion and a contraction. And I was actually talking about this with my group today in a coaching session around within our nervous system, really being able to witness within our own window of tolerance the expansion and the contraction. And the more that we can hold that space, the stronger we are allowing our own resiliency, our own regulation to be built, to be able to withstand the unexpectancy, the uncertainty. So really, for one, at least recognizing for yourself that, again, it is not a big deal that this has yet to come. And really not creating meaning of that 3D either. I think that's one of the biggest aspects as well, is recognizing for yourself that it's still on its way to you. Maybe it requires some shifts here and there, but at the end of the day, if you have this on your heart, if you are holding the vision, it is there, and it's really entrusting that process. So that's one piece, at least in opening up and navigating perhaps a slower sales period, of reminding yourself the greater vision, the long-term vision, and not to get caught in, again, I say this slightly, but the word with matrix, your 3D, and creating emotional meaning from this that essentially drives you in the wrong direction of your business. Like, for instance, thinking that you need to create more, you need to do more, when actuality, you just need to kind of come back to what it is that you know works, that you can trust for yourself as well on this path. Number two is really kind of reminding myself too, what is in my span of control? And this is actually through another training that I did within my free private Facebook community. If you want to come join, I welcome you there. Just send me a message. But I talked a lot around our span and our window of control, not just our window of capacity and tolerance, but our availability to recognize energetically, what do I have control of? And an example of this is, I don't necessarily have control of when someone chooses to make a decision to invest in me. There are factors that I can contribute, that I can give my focus and attention to support in that decision. But at the end of the day, someone's decision, again, is their own. And we all have circumstances. This is also why, for one, just on like a side note, I eliminated sales calls and I hold other ways to talk about creating sales, because I'm not here to necessarily overcome objections. I'm here to answer your questions. But if something, again, I'm not going to necessarily work through overcoming an objection. So when we talk about buyers can come in at any given second, and there's some that might need a year, I tell ya. And so really just giving that opportunity to witness for yourself what is in my control and what can I choose to give my focus to today, and allowing that to bring forward an actual empowered client who's ready to invest in you. This leads me to number 3. how quickly things change. And I'll use the example of creating 36K in 8 days, because prior to that 36K, there were slower sales periods. And there was some doubt at that point in time around, very similar to kind of what I'm bringing forward here, of do I need to offer something different? Is this the right offer? There really is no right offer. And this is going to lead to my next point. It's the offer that you truly love and you fall in love with, and that you're continuously showing up with, that you can let people know and make subtle shifts with. But at the end of the day, again, it is recognizing, especially in entrepreneurship, how quickly and at the speed things can change. And this is, again, taking you out of the 3D to not get so embedded into what your experience is right now. Sure, there are projections and mirrors that are being held in our reality, that are being brought forward to us to allow us to see what needs to still be overcome to reach that limit. But I always think about it as, especially when I hear sometimes individuals say, like, why can't I just grow my account to this number? Or why haven't I done this? In a sneaky way, the universe always knows what we require, what we need in that moment. And so I can even pull from the example of when I was still in corporate and always holding this thought of, why haven't I signed this many clients yet? Why can't I just do this? And honestly, it was without me even knowing that I wouldn't have had the capacity to fulfill their needs if I was still in my corporate job. And of course, I'm not saying just leave your corporate job here, but I am saying create a level of safety and a capacity and a level of stability within yourself to know and trust that, of course, this result is inevitable for you. Hi, Naeem. So where was I at now? I think I'm at point 3 out of like 4 or 5. So we'll see. So we have that. Then I was going into falling in love with your offers. So no matter what, essentially, is kind of like what I just want to bring forward here is business is business, the contraction and the expansion. Can you manage that from a nervous system level? Can you hold that faith? Can you hold that certainty, that trust, that steadfast clarity to continue to want to show up? Secondly, was essentially going into more behind what is in your span of control and really falling in love with that acceptance and falling in love with honoring each individual in their humanity and what they may need. Number 3, hi Sarah. I'm loving the people that are just popping in to the world here. So essentially, number 3 was, again, talking about how quickly things shift, not creating a lot of meaning out of the 3D here, and really being able to come back to the possibility in what it is. And I use that example of 36K in 8 days. So many different examples I can pull from. But it's, again, coming back and being tethered to your heart center and why you chose to be in service in the first place, why you're answering this calling. And then number 4 was essentially falling in love with your offer. And this, I can't even begin to unpack in this live and to begin with, because navigating slower sales periods, your mind will want to tell you need to shift things, that you need to create something different, that you need to do this and offer this discount and blah, 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 blah. No, we're not going to indulge in that. It's about coming back in love with your offer. Like, what does your client need most with the work that you have? Sure, there can be creative ways to nurture, to connect in with them, but also there's nothing wrong with your offer. And I just want to emphasize that, because it's a disservice at times when your client is at the brink of wanting to invest in you and wanting to say yes to you, and you obviously not knowing their circumstances, and then not necessarily being in a position where now that you've taken that offer off the table and they're ready to say yes, that is not available. So it's always just one of the strongest philosophies and one of the biggest things that supported me in my growth to create the success that I have was taking one offer to 6 figures, and then from there scaling and growing, creating more opportunities. And it always comes back to like what was really in my heart that I wanted to offer. I love one-to-one coaching. It's one of my favorite things, and it's why I haven't taken off my one-to-one coaching from my services. I created an opportunity to scale to serve one-to-many through Frequency Business Mastery, but they're very distinguishing different factors for the people that I serve in a one-to-one capacity versus those that I serve in the mini mind in Frequency Business Mastery. Now, of course, where I'm at in my business too, and the level to which I have learned the skill set behind marketing and selling and positioning my offers and inviting people in, I've created more opportunities as well for people to come and work with me. But truly, I think in that first year, creating those 6 figures, it was one offer with maybe like the quarterly Reiki certifications that I had going. And that was enough for my brain, for the way that I was developing my own concepts in my business, to manage and to let people know. And one other thing that I want to bring forward here in like navigating perhaps like a slower sales period is also just acknowledging a thought to invite forward that there are so many people who don't know you. And this can kind of be on like 2 separate threads of there's so many people who don't know who I am yet. And really, again, instead of changing the offer, instead of changing who your ideal client is and factors like that, it can be really to tap into how there's such like this abundance of individuals who just have no idea who you are yet, who need your work. And secondly, with that, my mind is everywhere right now. It's like spinning 1,000 miles an hour. The spectrum, this is how I work. There are so many people in my audience right now that are ready to invest. So, along the lines of there are so many people who don't know who I am, there are so many people in my audience who are ready to invest. Don't let, again, something external, outside of your control, a factor to a slower period, which is a natural ebb and flow with business, the earth, our seasons, constantly moving, create a lot of meaning around what it is that you are offering and prevent you essentially kind of creating like what I see is like this big like cocoon coming over of like this shield of like, I don't want to be seen right now. Like you're limiting yourself in that capability to want to continue to show up, to express how it is that you can help people. So I'll leave it here just because I don't think my mind can take any more at this point with all these different streams that I've been going on. So I'd love to hear if you have tuned in to this live and if you have watched the replay at this point, what has landed for you out of these reframes, out of these thoughts, along with an opportunity here for you to just get curious in that limit of yourself. Where have you still been playing small? Where have you maybe been dimming your light? What have you been holding back around that visibility? Where have you not been in full trust and full integrity with yourself in your business? And 2 gentle, friendly reminders here around 1, the mini mind, because that is on a launch cycle. We are starting again June 12th. This is for coaches that are essentially around that lower 3 to 5K income month that are looking to go beyond. Hi, Michelle. You are just catching the tailwind of this, so I hope you can catch the replay, but just inviting people into those next steps at this point in time. The doors are open. If you have questions, I I really love to guide clients through. We have weekly group sessions in that mini mind to be able to support them and to integrate further and to really be able to witness, again, blind spots and self-sabotaging little behaviors that are preventing them from creating the clients, from creating the income and impact that they are desiring to. You also get 3 months of Voxer with me. And what does that actually mean? Because I do truly actually now understand when I've signed clients and they're like, I have no idea what Voxer even was. Voxer is like a voice text messaging app. And so what it brings forward for individuals is this opportunity to, if you're ever struggling with a piece of content and you want my eyes on it, if you're struggling with your mindset, if you're indulging in, again, thoughts like, do I need to change this? Do I need to do that? You have me for 3 months for support to center you, to ground you, to bring you back to your truth and your power. This is one of the most beautiful things I find in that kind of commitment to yourself for that period of time, and how we can really make such magnitude of shifts. Also questions about pricing, how to navigate the DMs, like the list goes on and on. Each individual is so unique and they bring forward so many beautiful things. There is some spots, only a couple, for one-to-one coaching for May and June. Again, this is more tailored for those who have established their business and they are more so already at an income of 5K and beyond. So we're looking now at your multi-6-figure growth versus going to 6 figures in the 6-month container. And to be able to hold and support you with that, there's even support sessions within there outside of our bi-weekly coaching calls, just because there's so much more integration and support in helping you to build out your team. Now, one of the most other exciting things as of late is I've been reintroducing my one-off sessions, which are the Akashic Energy and Business Mastery Soul sessions. And for 2 weeks only, I have now brought the price to $111. So only for 2 weeks. Typically they are $222. This is something that has been bringing me so much joy to hold space for with clients, because not only is it so healing, but there's so much that can come forward in a 45-minute session where you get a path, a blueprint, a roadmap, the opportunity to see what has been holding you back from your highest self, from your highest timeline in those sessions. Because as I open the records, not only is it a chance for you to ask questions, but for you to also have channeled guidance come through. Anyways, let me know in the comments, again, how things have landed. And otherwise, also, just if there is any curiosity about what I've spoken to with my offers, you can either head to my link in bio or send me a private message. Anyways, I hope your May has been a beautiful start so far, and we'll talk soon.